The cold, thin air of the high country carries the scent of wildflowers, cheese, and solitude. We're climbing to where normal life ends and harsh, no-nonsense laws take over. Up here, where the peaks scrape the sky, everything's different. The silence is absolute, broken only by wind and the distant chime of cowbells. Among the bare, forbidden slopes, tiny stone huts cling to the rocks like swallows' nests. Inside one of these huts lives a single shepherd, 5 long months away from civilization. His world is his herd, back-breaking work, cheese-making, and an endless battle against the elements. Summer in the Alps is short and unpredictable. Sunshine today, snow tomorrow. But the worst enemy up here is loneliness. It'll drain you faster than any cold snap. Down below, in the cozy valley towns, life goes on as usual. There's family, neighbors, church, evening gatherings around the fireplace. There are rules, expectations, judgment for every misstep. Up here, there's just the mountain and its silent, ancient laws. Nobody talks about textbook morality up here. It's all about staying warm and having what it takes to survive. Every day is packed with work, milking, making cheese, herding cattle across dangerous slopes, fixing fences. But when the sun goes down, the hardest time begins: complete isolation. 4 or 5 months without human contact, without a woman's voice, without touch. It's a test not just for the body, but for the soul. It's here, at the edge of the world, that entirely different relationship rules are born. In this world, cut off from civilization, the concepts of right and wrong get blurry. There's no preacher to pass judgment, no neighbors whispering behind your back. There's just the mountain, demanding one thing: survive and save your strength for the next day. Loneliness weakens you, makes you vulnerable. The mountain seems to understand this and allows for other kinds of arrangements. One day, when the shepherd is worn down by work and isolation, he spots a figure on the trail. Slowly, up the steep slopes, a woman is climbing. She's not here by accident. This is the unspoken way of these parts. Her appearance doesn't surprise him. It brings relief. Back in the village, they know she's gone. Up here in the Alps, everyone understands. The mountain demands its sacrifices, but it also offers its own way of life. This woman isn't some random traveler or hired hand. Her status is defined differently. They call her the shepherd's woman for this summer. She holds a special position that exists only here among the peaks and is completely ignored once she returns to the valley. Down below, people might whisper as she passes, but up here they respect her necessity. She needs to get something in return: food, milk, cheese, help with chores. She brings to this harsh world not just her presence, but the order that's missing from a bachelor's dwelling. Her hands are busy from dawn to dusk, helping milk the cows, taking part in cheese-making, cleaning the hut, cooking meals. She's a work partner, an ally in daily life and against the elements, a source of the warmth that's needed most up here. Her presence isn't the shepherd's whim, it's a necessity of life. For him, worn down by loneliness and labor, for the hut itself, where without a woman's touch, everything gradually falls into disrepair, and for the mountain itself, which demands a balance of masculine strength and feminine care. It's a practical exchange. The man gets help and relief from loneliness. The woman gets food and valuable goods. There's no room for sentiment here, only necessity. This unspoken agreement has strict rules. While she's at the Alpine pasture, he's his woman. The length of the relationship is determined by the season, until the first heavy snowfall. This isn't a promise of eternal love, but a partnership for a set period. Everything is honest and transparent in its temporariness. They live together month after month in one small space. Together they milk cows at dawn, sit by the fire in the evenings, share a narrow bed where the warmth of two bodies is the only luxury. Their intimacy is part of this ritual, a way to stay warm, to feel less alone, to strengthen their alliance against nature. It's caring for another person in its purest form. The woman isn't an object of desire, but an active participant in the agreement. She gets protection, food, a chance to earn something for winter. He gets help, care, an end to loneliness, and warmth that lets him restore his strength. It's an exchange, honest and tough as the mountain itself. In this temporary community, in closeness dictated by necessity, lies the essence of their relationship, born outside civilization. Their intimacy is nothing like what people down below call romance. There are no longing glances here, just a smoking fire and cold that cuts to the bone. There's a need for simple human warmth. This is a union sealed by need and a common goal: survive until fall. At this altitude, nobody asks about love. They ask if you'll keep them warm tonight. Intimacy isn't taboo, but part of the exchange that allows them to endure. The woman can take initiative if she sees fit. What matters here is consent and readiness for shared living. With the arrival of autumn and the first frosts, the season ends. The woman packs her things, takes what she's earned: a wheel of cheese, butter, a lamb. This is her payment for a summer spent in harsh conditions. She returns to the village, where she's accepted again. Nobody asks how she spent her summer. It's not done. Everything that happened in the Alps stays there. She's part of the familiar way of life again. What she's brought back isn't just material goods, but experience, knowledge, understanding of herself. The tradition of seasonal cohabitation lived in the Alps for centuries. It wasn't recognized by the church or law, but it entered folklore, songs, and tales. In it lies the essence of Alpine life: harsh, practical, honest in its own way. Where a person is alone with nature, they establish their own rules based on necessity. This was a temporary partnership, tacitly acknowledged because it was functional and time-tested. With the arrival of the 20th century, much changed. Roads came, tourists, different culture, new ideas about morality. Urban morality arrived, making no allowances for the harshness of life. What had been survival for centuries became labeled as promiscuity. Gradually, this tradition faded away. Young women stopped climbing to the Alps to the shepherds, and the shepherds' loneliness became even more complete. Today, mountain huts have either emptied out or become tourist shelters. Shepherds work in shifts, and machinery has replaced them. But the history of these temporary unions reminds us where familiar comfort ends, where humans face nature head-on, different relationships are born. Not better or worse than ours, just different. In this difference lies its own harsh beauty and truth about human nature, capable of finding warmth even in the most brutal conditions.